Whoever claimed that compact motorcycles couldn't achieve legendary status? In the 1980s, Suzuki introduced the GTX, a two-stroke machine with the spirit of a giant, equipped with 5 gears, air cooling, and a sound that resonated deeply within your soul. Lightweight, fierce, and prepared to tackle anything in its path. Today, we are going to revisit the history of this overlooked gem that, if you knew how to handle it properly, made you feel like a professional race car driver. During the latter portion of the 1970s, oil prices were high, helmets were not mandatory, and motorcycle manufacturers encountered a significant dilemma. Should they persist with the loud and magnificent two-strokes, or should they transition to the less exciting yet dependable four-stroke alternatives? And amidst that transitional period, Suzuki conceived an idea that today might appear almost nostalgic. Let's create a 200cc T, but with the appearance of a full-fledged motorcycle. It would be a motorcycle with a sense of style, possessing a sporty essence and producing more sound than a malfunctioning blender. Consequently, the GTX came into existence at some time between the years 1978 and 1982, contingent upon the specific market. A motorcycle that looked like it came out of a cafe racer catalog, but was accessible, small, and ready for daily use. It had a compact, slim, and lightweight design, ideal for those who wanted something more than a 125, but without moving up to the world of 250 or more, which at that time came with more weight, higher costs, and more drama. What made it particularly special was the two-stroke engine with its explosive mixture. It wasn't the most powerful engine, but it was certainly one of the most enjoyable. It had reliable air cooling and not too many mechanical complications. A neatly organized 5-speed transmission, precisely as it ought to be in a compact sports motorcycle. Front disc brake, a luxury feature for a 200 cubic centimeters engine during those years. While numerous 125 and 250 models still utilized drum brakes, the GT200 was already equipped to brake like a grown-up. Timeless design, robust fuel tank, elongated seat with a sharply defined tail. Chrome side exhaust that screamed, "Notice me." Perfect for city settings. Agile, with great responsiveness at low speeds and a thrilling boost in the mid-range. If you dared, you could hit the highway and keep a steady 100-110 km/h without the bike complaining. Although maybe you would because of the wind. It was a two-stroke engine with the essence of a larger one, encased in a lightweight and straightforward frame. And during an era when the world was shifting towards the four-stroke engines, the GT200. I linger a bit longer with the blue smoke and the defiant spirit. The GT200 X5 was not merely any ordinary motorcycle. It possessed a two-stroke engine boasting 200 cubic centimeters, air-cooled, and featuring a direct mixture of oil and gasoline. No intricate gear systems or contemporary fuel injections. You would visit the gas station, fill up with premium gasoline, and manually add the oil yourself. It was almost akin to concocting a magical potion. However, to rouse the formidable force residing within the cylinder, it possessed a distinctly defined power band. Beneath that threshold, it was nearly gentle almost, yet once it surpassed a particular range, approximately 5,500 revolutions per minute, the machine would detonate with force. That's precisely where the renowned power band emerged, delivering that abrupt surge that propelled your head backward as if a massive truck fan had seized you. And if there was something truly captivating, it was that distinctive ring-ring-ring sound at idle, and when stretching it out in third gear. It was a harmonious blend of chainsaw, go-karting, and pure nostalgia, a metallic howl that sent shivers down your spine. The motorcycle weighed about 110 kilos when ready to ride, which is about the weight of a washing machine full of water. Light, compact, ideal for slicing through traffic like a knife through butter. If you lived in the city, it was like having a superpower. Now don't be fooled by its size. The acceleration was surprising. From the start, the GT200 took off with more eagerness than a teenager with a motorcycle. Again, you didn't need a straight road to have fun. In the first block, it already gave you a thrill. And in what it was good at, it was really excellent. In tight corners, it was as nimble as a squirrel on coffee. You could enter in a hurry, lean the bike sideways, and shoot out like it was nothing. Simple but effective suspension, upright posture, and direct control. If you had the skills, the bike matched your pace, and if not, the curve taught you humility. The Suzuki GTX was undeniably a motorcycle that emerged in a territory that belonged to no particular category. It wasn't a simple-to-maneuver 125cc for just anyone, nor was it a 250c for those who desired to race at every single traffic light. It was a balanced middle ground, an exceptionally rare combination during a period when the market was starting to become polarized. It was excessively advanced for those who were merely beginning and insufficient for those who were in pursuit of unrestricted power. And to culminate everything, it had to withstand the most challenging transition of all, the conclusion of the two-stroke epoch. Indeed, during the late 1970s and early 1980s, four-stroke engines started to increasingly dominate the landscape. Why? Improved reliability, decreased smoke emissions, lessened odor, and a more predictable, linear, and civilized power delivery. However, also more monotonous. The GT200, with its oil mixture, explosive power band, and Hornet-like sound on steroids, found no place in a world that demanded motorcycles capable of lasting 100,000 kilometers without necessitating valve adjustments, even if that meant sacrificing a bit of excitement. And that is precisely where the GT200 became overlooked by the broader market, yet remained unforgettable for those individuals who owned it. Because indeed those who purchased it were fully aware that it wasn't the most powerful option, nor the least expensive to maintain. But it had something the others didn't: personality. It was a motorcycle that didn't ask for permission to stand out. It had that aesthetic halfway between classic and sporty. That intense fury compressed within 200 cubic centimeters that conveyed to you, "I'm not flawless, but I'm distinct." It was rebellious, unconventional, a habitual smoker indeed, yet also courageous, swift, and unparalleled. And that's why today it's almost a cult piece. It doesn't appear in the rankings, it doesn't have huge clubs, but when you come across a restored GT200, I assure you, people turn to look at it. Comparing the Suzuki GTX to other two-stroke motorcycles from that particular era is akin to contrasting a robust espresso with a chilled Coca-Cola. Both invigorate you, but each in its own distinctive manner. And although they share a category and possess similar displacement, each one has its own distinct personality clearly defined. The Yamaha RD125, the little nervous devil. The RD125 was the quintessential nervous one with Grand Prix aspirations, exceptionally light, with a fierce engine that constantly urged you to push it to the absolute limit all the time. At reduced velocities, it was somewhat sluggish. The GT200, in contrast, possessed greater torque, increased weight, and enhanced stability. It wasn't quite as agile in sharp corners, but it felt more robust throughout the entire range. The RD was like a sharp knife. In contrast, the GT200 was like an old iron bar that could still cut you in two. To sum up, the RD was jittery and a bit awkward, while the GT200 had more character. Yamaha RX 135. The one from the neighborhood that raced you in flip-flops. The RX 135 was a simple and straightforward machine. Explosive engine, lightweight, adequate suspension. It was essentially a factory street racer, exceptionally sporty, and perfectly suited for rapid sprints at the corner and for riding comfortably in a t-shirt at 1 to 20. The GT200 X5, however, possessed more of an 80s cafe racer appearance, so classically styled, it seemed as if it was straight off the cover of an English magazine. With a long seat, relaxed posture, and that round headlight with a retro soul. The RX was a street projectile. The GT200 was a cafe racer with hidden daggers. Honda MBX 125. The refined one among the wild ones, the MBX 125 looked like it came straight off a runway. More technology, more design, less noise, and more cleanliness. It was fast, yes, but with manners. It had better suspension, more smoothness at low speeds, and a futuristic design for its time. The GT200 was all about being more rugged, simpler, more straightforward. It didn't offer refinement. Instead, it gave blue smoke, a sharp kick, and bold attitude. The MBX was like sushi, while the GT was like a barbecue with leather and fat. The Suzuki GTX was not originally designed to shatter records. It did not make major headlines, nor did it secure any titles, but it left an indelible mark that does not diminish with the passage of years. It was the motorcycle for individuals who opted to go against the conventional norms, who favored the aroma of the blend over commercial marketing, who didn't require 140 horsepower to experience a sense of freedom. One two-stroke engine possessing a street soul with distinctive style, effortlessly, and with that unique manner of expressing I'm not flawless, but I'm truly unforgettable. In a world where every motorcycle aspired to be identical, the GTX made the deliberate choice to stand apart. Within that distinctiveness, it discovered its true glory.